Sometimes change does not happen until we hit some kind of bottom or choose a disruption to our status quo. I'm Hella Rader, and in this episode of The Stories That Sparkle, I talk with Linda, a woman who helped pick me up when I was building myself back, about what led her to become a personal trainer, health coach, and Reiki master, the power of two-way accountability, and the gift of learning to love yourself first. So I invite you to get comfortable, sit back, and listen in. Every one of us is a facet on the giant disco ball of life, waiting for a little light to hit just right. I'm Hella Rader. Come join me as I shine a light on the women whose stories help me stay out of the dark. Welcome to our disco ball, the stories that sparkle. Okay, we're recording. It's official, Linda.
Yay.
Well, welcome, everybody. I'm here today with Linda, a.k.a. Coach Linda, a.k.a. The lady who got me into shape.
That's right.
Yeah. We met in, 2019?
I believe 2019 is correct.
Yeah. Well, and here's what happened. So I knew I needed to work out. My doctor was like, dude, seriously, you got to move. You got to move and build your bone, work on your bone density. It's coming up on that. Like, you got to get on it. Mm-hmm. And, regulate your body fat and BMI, like just for health reasons. I tried to go to the gym and I'm just like, I'm not going to go. So then I found you through a mutual friend and I'm like, oh, she will come to my house. Mm-hmm. So I have to get up. Mm-hmm. I can't not roll over and be like, yeah, I'll go tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like, this lady's showing up at my house.
3 times a week?
Yeah, 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Wow, that was bonkers.
It was.
So, like, where did you even come up with doing that? Like, going to people's homes? Like, that's pretty amazing.
So I knew of a couple other trainers that were making house calls, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, they can do it, I can do it. Right. So sometimes it's just more convenient to go to them. One, for the reason like you just said, it's a convenience for you, and it doesn't leave you an out unless you you don't answer the door.
Right. That could happen.
But the other thing was just being flexible and accommodating people. And because back then I was looking for more business, so I thought, hey, have vehicle, can travel.
Right. No, it was amazing. I was like, this is awesome for me.
Yeah.
I love it. And then COVID happened, of course.
Yeah, then COVID happened.
A year later, like almost a year after we started working out. And then we discovered FaceTime.
Yeah. Thankfully, there was FaceTime.
Yeah. So then now we still do that via FaceTime.
We still FaceTime 3 times a week.
We just never went back to in person.
No.
It's kind of awesome.
It's convenient now for me also.
Yeah.
Because, like, today I just kind of rolled out of bed after coming back from a 2-week vacation, and I was like, it was hard getting up, and so it was nice because I didn't have to like prepare myself and travel, and I just literally had to wake up, get dressed, and go downstairs. And
Right. Well, yeah. So what's that? I mean, I was going to say, like, if it's hard enough for me to get up and work out on a regular basis, like, you're the person training people. Mm-hmm. So, like, you must also have times or days where you're like, yeah, I don't want to get out of bed today.
Oh my goodness. More than I probably should share. But it's just being real, you know?
Well, this is where we get real around here. Like, I'm all about that.
There's a lot of days I don't want to do a lot of shit. But we do it. We get up and we do it because we have to. Mm-hmm. For me, with training, not only just you FaceTime, but people that actually are clients and come to my home. Mm-hmm. There it's a little bit more entailed because I need to make sure that my house is presentable and things aren't in disarray because, people do look around and stuff. And it's more of, now people are counting on me. Like you were counting on me to come to your house. Now people are counting on me to get up and provide a service.
Right.
So, it goes both ways.
Right. So. Yeah, I find it easier for me to show up for someone else than to show up for myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, 100%. Yeah, I can do this for you all day long.
Right.
But if it comes to just doing it for me, I'm not so sure about that.
It's that big word, accountability. If we're holding ourselves accountable, we will come up with every excuse that we can think of. Oh, not now, later, not today, tomorrow. Now, let me just get this done first. I do that all the time.
Right.
So I've learned in the 20 some years I've been doing this that if I don't put myself first, it's just going to make a mess out of the rest of my day.
Right. Right.
And I think especially after COVID, more so than before, we have the tendency to put ourselves last, and I always refer to people with, when you ride an airplane, they do the whole oxygen mask and stuff. And they're like, you've got to put the oxygen on yourself first because you'll be no good to anybody else if you're not breathing. You can't help anybody. And it's the same thing with ourselves. And so when we're holding other people accountable, we have to show up. And it makes a difference when we know that somebody's counting on us. For you and I, we hold each other accountable.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie when I say when I do FaceTime with you, I get my workout in too because I don't want to just stand there and tell you what to do.
Right.
I'm like, I might as well do this myself. So it's really a two-way street.
So do you do that like every time you're working out with a client?
No,
like, do you work out every time yourself as well?
So like with you, I work out.
Right.
And that changed when COVID hit.
Right. That's right. Because when you would come over, you would just stand there and sort of be like, okay, now we're doing this and strength training that and lift these weights and lunges.
Yeah, your favorite, I know.
Oh, God. I really dislike them. I mean, I love them and also hate them.
They are that love-hate relationship. They're so good for your legs, for your butt, but they can be grueling sometimes, like this morning.
Yeah, I was like...
I think we were both grunting and groaning.
Yeah, but we did it.
We did
it. And my fitness app registered that I did move.
Yeah, well,
it
that's
was like,
great.
oh, look at you. Look at you moving.
Yeah.
Good, you go, girl.
Yeah, high five. But typically when I have people at my house and I'm training, or when I had my studio, you can get more in front of that person. You can do a little bit more corrective exercise with that person. You're moving around. You're not just barking orders per se.
Right.
I will say that the disadvantage to doing it virtually is it's a little bit hard. You can see, but you can't see up close.
Right.
So it's a little hard to get that, are the knees really over the toes? Or is her back really flat? Or, just those minor but important details you can't see as much if you're not physically right in front of somebody.
Right. Well, and then also I will say that sometimes during our FaceTime sessions, especially because the COVID happened and I was in the middle of divorce situation and still living with that person for a little bit and then not. And then renovating my house. You've been with me.
I've been through a lot with you.
All the rebuilding of all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And I remember a few times, well, more than a few, like our sessions were like just hella crying.
Yeah.
Sitting there like I can't even move, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cry with you on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this since the late 1990s. I think I started in 1996. And where I physically had my fitness center. And through the years, I've evolved and, did coaching. I've been doing coaching for over 10 years. So the coaching aspect, I think, came in a lot during those times because I had so much more knowledge and wisdom in learning how to just sit and listen, ask the questions to get you to think about, what's going on, where am I right now, how am I applying or responding to certain situations. And I think that was huge, to be able to do that. And, that's the other thing is when you can wear so many hats, not just yourself, but I can tell you I've had many people walk through my studio or into my home now, and I look at them and, I'm a very energetic person. Being a Reiki master, I can sense people's energies, and, it's a matter of just being like, whoa, like what's going on?
Right.
What's
happening here?
I am not going to train you because I can sense that your energy's off, you look exhausted, they may not have slept or something's going on and they're just in a tailspin. Well, why would I want to push them to do something that I know that they're going to fail at and not be successful? So it's like, well, let's turn, let's turn around and do this instead. And the end result is, the client is still getting a good session, maybe not what they thought they were going to get that day, but they're still getting relief or release in some other way where now they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better.
Right. Oh yeah, no, I always appreciate that. I'm like, yeah, I and then at some point I think I was able to identify, like, yeah, I can't do this today, but let's do this other thing today. But for a while there, I know you were like, we're just gonna talk today. Think we should be moving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's important to have somebody that's able to get to know you well enough to say, yeah, that's not what we're gonna do today. That's just not gonna serve either one of us.
Right. I really want to talk about and hear about like your journey, because you've helped me with my journey to such, in ways that I don't know that you even realize, but, so I just really want to talk about your journey.
Yeah. How I got to being a personal trainer started out, I was in high school and I was running track. I actually ran track 6 years, really 5.5. But I was very good at it. It was something that I didn't expect. And I was going to get a scholarship for track. And I was super excited. The only problem was I was a partier. I was a huge drinker. Alcoholism is very apparent in my family. And I was drinking at a very, very young age. So when I was in high school, my senior year, which was the year that I had already been pre-scouted my junior year, and they had told me, come back your senior year, bring what you brought this year, if not more, and you're going to have a paid scholarship. And I was super excited, even though my parents weren't all about me going off to college, which is kind of strange. But anyways, I had forgotten, believe it or not, I'd forgotten what was on the table. And so the end of track my junior year, I was like bipolar, if you will. Like during the track season, I was hanging around all my track friends, all the jocks, like we used to call them. And then when the season was done, I'd go back to my other friends, which was the party animals, the, what did we call them? Dirt balls back then.
I don't remember this term, but I went to the German school, so we didn't have the usual terms.
Yeah, that was, we had the jocks and the dirt balls. And
I love this, dirt balls.
So anyways, I was also at that time dating a man who later on became my husband, but did a lot of partying, a lot of partying. And so senior year came around and track season came around, and I had put on well over 20 pounds. And being 5'7" with an extra 20 pounds does not help your speed at all.
Right.
So that was the first time when we were having time trials that I wasn't making my times. I was told I was going to have to run JV, and I was like, no way, never. Like, never did I ever run JV. I was always varsity in high school from the get-go. And so that was devastating. And then one day we were having practice in the starting blocks, and I injured my knee. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, your 20 pounds plus did not help. And that was the reason why. And that was like the icing on the cake. I was like, I'm done. I can't. And so I could not put myself to be an individual, which is really bad, but I couldn't stand on the sidelines and cheer the rest of my team on. I couldn't do it. I was like, no way. And I was already in co-op at that time. So I went and decided to work instead of going to practice and not being able to practice. And I knew I wasn't going to ever get that weight off, and because track is such a short season anyways.
Oh, right.
So that was what started the ball. rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So once I healed within a couple weeks, I started going to Jazzercise. Loved it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, that was such a big thing.
My mom took me to Jazzercise, and in retrospect, I realized that she must have been in menopause and was trying to deal with the menopausal changes. Because I'm like, what happened? Like she never worked out that I could see, and suddenly she was taking me with her to Jazzercise.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not coordinated for this. But anyway,
So I was going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I was like very structured. I even got my sister, who's 10 years older than me. She started coming with me because she was like, what are you doing? The reason I did it was because I knew I had to get the weight off. I felt miserable. You know, I didn't, there was just so much humiliation that I had with myself.
talk about that, like humiliation with yourself.
Well, you know, when you know you're supposed to, I was supposed to have something, and because of my actions and my choices, I wasn't able to get what I was supposed to have because I chose to drink and party. And this is another thing. My best friend back in the day, she worked at McDonald's. So every weekend it was partying, and then we'd go through the drive-through at about midnight. I'd get a Big Mac, fries, and an apple pie.
Oh yeah, those apple pies are pretty good.
So yeah,
I can't say I blame you for the apple pie sitch. I mean, I get it.
You know, and one other quick thing too. Do you remember? I was in FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America.
Okay.
And we would sell donuts on Friday.
What?
Yeah. So back in the day, it was 2 donuts for $1. Like,
whoa.
Like, yeah, where did those days go?
Those were like 80s prices.
Yeah, it was late 80s because I graduated in 89. And so I had to sell them, and it was such a great deal. And so I'd have 2 donuts every Friday.
You're like, I'm going to buy my own product and also have 2 donuts.
So, you know, you take into consideration the donuts and the drinking and the McDonald's. I mean, it's like no kidding that 20 plus pounds came on.
Right.
But the humiliation was, you know, I still had to face all my track mates, you know, who just kind of, you know, I'm not going to say they put their nose up to me, but it was like, you know, you left us. What did you do? Because I was a very important member of the track team that, you know, brought points to allow us to win. And so that didn't happen. And not to mention that I didn't feel well. I didn't look well. And the other big thing that stands out in my mind was I remember after junior year, that fall, so it was going into my senior year, that fall, my grandma and grandpa had their 50th wedding anniversary. And I remember wearing this dress that my mom helped me pick out, and I put it on that day, and my dad goes, "Oh my gosh, you look like a little oinker in that."
Wow. So it's like self-shame plus shame from others.
Yeah, and that
like compounding on top of.
Yeah, and that was like, whoa. Like, you know, daddy's little girl never said anything negative against me ever or towards me, and that one hurt. And I'd have to honestly say that it probably took about 10 years ago that I was finally able to work through that one.
Yeah, no, those things people say to us, certainly, I mean, at any age, I would say, but certainly the younger we are, and even if we're, you know, not kids, but like teenage, I mean, that stuff sticks.
Yeah, it sticks. And
it really does stick.
It hurts. It burns. So I went to Jazzercise, started doing that, and then I love music. Like, you know that. I love music. And so Jazzercise was just my thing. And the thing that really pushed me was I wanted to be an instructor.
Of Jazzercise.
Of Jazzercise.
Oh, wow. I didn't know this.
Yep. And her name was Pam. She owned it. And she also made a comment because she was looking for instructors. And I'm like, I want to be one. I want to be one. And she's like, you're a bag of bones. Now, this was after.
Right.
I'd say a year, probably 2 years after.
So basically, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're either too fat or too skinny.
Exactly.
So like it's basically like body shame on all sides.
Yep.
You know, I was talking to someone else. You know, we were talking about she had breast cancer but didn't go through chemo. So then she had cancer imposter syndrome because people in her support group basically said, you know, you're not a real cancer survivor. Like you don't really know what it's like because you didn't go through chemo.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought, wow, this is so like you don't, like people over here don't understand you and people over there don't understand you. So it's similar.
Yeah.
Like this seems to be a recurring, not that it's maybe revolutionary, that it's a recurring theme, but the different ways we get these things told to us that make us feel alone. And this happened to her not as a young person, as an adult, like an older adult.
Yeah.
And it still sticks with you.
Yeah, it does. It does. So she basically, you know, told me no. And at that time, I was 22, 23. And that was when I was like, you know what? I'm going to show you.
Ooh, prove it.
So, yep. So that was when I opened up my first fitness studio.
Oh, wow. Wow, I love that.
Yep.
So you're like, okay, listen, bag of bones over here. Going to open our own studio.
Yep. And Bag of Bones, but really not, I was a very muscular Bag of Bones
Right.
because at that time I was teaching 17 classes a week.
Wow, for her?
No,
Or
for myself.
for yourself.
When I opened up my own place.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started as an aerobic instructor first and then became a personal trainer. And then
So
had
what was
both of
that
those.
transition like? Were you like, okay, it's like too much? Like, did you do both at the same time where you were doing group classes and personal training, or did you sort of swap one out for the other?
So I did the fitness classes, the group training first, and then I ended up hiring on 2 instructors.
Oh, okay.
And that gave me a break to then be doing personal training on the days that I wasn't teaching.
Got it.
So, and then I did that for about 3 years, and then ended up having to shut my studio down, my center, because I had a chauvinistic landlord.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah, I was in a building.
So what was that about? Like, so, okay, explain that. Like,
So-
how does that work?
Yeah, so we were in a building.
I'm like putting my hand on my hip. I'm indignant and mad right now. Just hearing that is like, I got to know what happened.
So it was a building he owned, and it was all women, business owners. And he was a millionaire, and he came in and he's like, oh, well, we're going to do this now, so it's going to cost more money. So he kept harassing all of us women and wanting more money and being very degrading against us and just being a jackass. And so the last time he came to us, he's like, this is how it's going to be. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. I said, I'm leaving. And so he gave me 2 choices. He's like, well, I'm going to tell you what. He said, you didn't fulfill your contract. I don't remember if I had a 3 or 5 year. He's like, so either you're going to shut your business down completely,
What?
or I'm going to sue you for the remainder of your lease. And he really didn't leave me much of a choice. So I ended up having to shut my center down.
Wow.
So then I went and was working. Actually, at that time, I was going through a divorce, separation, then divorce. And then I moved out of the city that I was in and started being an aerobic instructor and trainer and everything else at a different place. And then it just kind of kept going from there. But there was a time also where I took off almost a decade. Because being in the line of health and wellness, health and fitness, being a service to other people, it's hard when you cannot find the people who want to dig in and do the work. And, it may have been a phase in my life too, but I was just getting more and more of those people. And I was like, I can't, it was sucking the life out of me. And I was like, so I took about a decade off, continued to still work on myself and, keep myself, because trust me, it is embedded in my head to what had happened to me when I was 16.
Right.
You know?
So like you're like carrying that with you even now.
Oh, absolutely.
Of like, if I don't, then this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can openly admit that there has been times from, you know, that era to now where, you know, I probably had maybe 3 times in my life where I've kind of went off the deep end. You know, I was a big drinker for a lot of years, not so much anymore, but I went through ebb and flows like we all do. You know, stuff happens in our life, and sometimes we don't make the right choices to deal with it. And so, yeah, I've those monumental moments that, you know, I keep in my brain, not to be upset, but just to remind me, don't forget, you were once there.
Right.
You don't want to go back.
Okay, so we know the one is the 16.
Yeah.
You know, I have to follow up. What are the other ones? If you care to share.
Yeah, no, I know I guess the most recent one was probably about 8 years ago or so or more. I had broke off my relationship with my husband, and we just separated for about 6 months. And there was a lot of stuff going on in that relationship, and I just felt very, very watched. Not watched. That's not the word either.
Was it controlling?
Control. Just, it was like, you know, where are you going? What are you doing? Because I'm not with you, and like, who else is there? Kind of thing. And I just felt like I was underfoot all the time. He was just always had to be very clingy. And
Interesting.
And I was like, you know, and actually prior to that, a couple years prior, I'd cut it off with him for about 30 days and then felt bad and, you know, brought it back. But, you know, being a 3-time divorcee, you know, that's a whole nother thing that
Right.
I've, you know, had to learn to work on myself, to realize what my issues are and not just keep looking for the next thing that's going to make me happy. Because I did that 3 times.
Right. You're like, yeah, okay. The thing out there is not the thing that's going to make me happy in here.
Yeah. So during that time frame, I just let loose. I was drinking. I was partying. I was already back into training and doing classes and stuff like that. Unbelievable the things I did. But that, though, was also a time when I was going through my health coaching, ironically. So
you were training to be a health coach.
I was training to be a health coach. So it was kind of ironic because I'm out here partying and doing everything you shouldn't be doing.
You're like, and then by day I health coach train.
But I did take away a lot of stuff, and, you know, kind of fast forward, that's when I was like, oh, Linda, like, what are you doing? You know, and so that 6 months, I mean, I partied hard for a good 30 days or more, and then was like, what are you doing? And that was when I hit my personal rock bottom.
Got it.
That was when I was like, oh, I am in a place I don't want to be. You know, spent a ton of money, was out running around. Part of that was I always went from a relationship to marriage to miserable to finding the next person to try to be happy to all of a sudden in a next relationship. I mean, I did that 3 times. And I was afraid the 4th time that exact same thing was going to happen because I started seeing part of that happen. And so when I had cut off that relationship for those 6 months, after I hit rock bottom, and thank God I was in the health coaching, because that's when I was like, oh my Lord, look in the mirror. What are you doing? And started working on myself. And that was when I started realizing a lot of the issues that I had. Because of course, you know, when you're in it, it's not your fault. It's everybody else's fault.
Right. It's all you people.
Right.
If it weren't for all you people, I'd be freaking fine.
I'd be perfect.
This would be all fine. Yeah.
So, yeah. So did a lot of work, but I also saw a different person emerge. And that was also doing the work on myself that I started realizing a lot of other things in the people around me and going, oh, okay, so it's not all me, it's these other people too, but that's their stuff and they've got to work on it. I can't do it for them.
Right. That's their journey, not mine.
Yep.
So, in the process of training to help others through coaching, it exposed some things for you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I can relate to the serial monogamist approach.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't be alone. Like that was like I think the biggest thing for me was like getting comfortable. It's this like recurring thing. Like for me has always been like I just can't be alone. I mean, I can be like I'm an introvert, extrovert, combo pack of things, but I realized I'm like I had to learn how to be okay being by myself.
Yeah.
And taking care of just me, not someone else, or waiting for someone else to take care of me. Like I just got to get on with taking care of myself, but not everybody else at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting when it doesn't matter who we are or what our background is, but when we sit and think about all the things that we've been through and how far we've grown, if we choose to, it's just amazing to see. I mean, the body is very amazing and so intricate. And when it comes to people wanting to take the first step, like, oh, I know I need movement. I need to be moving. I need to be doing things. That's the first step. But what people don't understand is it's basically a commitment to yourself. Through all the years that I've been doing this, I see people, they're gung-ho, and I've had many clients who have gotten to where they want to be, and then they're like, oh, I got it from here. And I'm like, okay, well, don't forget A, B, C, and D, and they're, oh, yeah. And then 6 months, a year, 2 years later, they're back, with added weight and miserable, and numbers are crazy all over the board. And again, the accountability, I can't speak loudly enough about how important it is, whether it's just a buddy or whether it's, somebody that you hire in whatever avenue lane that you need the help in, that person needs to be a continued part in your life, whether it's weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. It's just so important because we take advantage of our health and think that it's never going to change. And it's always changing. It's always evolving because the world is always evolving. I mean, you look at the things talking about prices, right? You look at the quality of the food we had back in the 80s and the 90s, and now things aren't the way they used to be.
Right.
The air is not the way it used to be. Just everything around us, the environment in itself is not the way it used to be. And that's all taking into account of what our body has to go through.
Right, and process
day in and day out. And, right now, because of our food and so many other things, think about all the people now that have ADD, ADHD. They can't have gluten, they can't have dairy, they can't have this, they can't have that. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on? Because I remember back in middle school and high school, there was only one person that was allergic to peanuts. I remember that vividly. And now it's, 1 out of 2 people can't have peanuts, for example. And, that's where the chemicals in the food and everything has changed so much. But, my biggest thing that I've told people, through the decades is you have to stay current with what's going on and know that, a body in motion stays in motion and that you have to always be moving with the things around you.
What do you mean by moving with the things around you?
So, you have to always be changing and staying on the up and up. I'm not personally one of those people that it's like, have your nose in your phone and be changing or doing all these different things that are on TikTok and Instagram and all that. That I'm just saying you have to just know that if, for example, now they're finding out, like with women especially, that, you know, muscle mass, you have to, the bone density, you have to be weightlifting, you have to be strength training, you have to be doing stuff.
Right.
They never talked about that back in the day.
No.
So you have to be on the up and always moving with the new things that they're finding.
Right.
Because it is going to make a difference.
Well, and that's a big part of why, you know, it's funny, like these early conversations I'm having are with, you know, with you, who's a personal trainer, another friend of mine who's a yoga teacher, and is now working on helping people with bone density and that very thing. And, you know, some of the women she's seeing are, you know, in their 60s or you know, already in their 60s. And the importance of the earlier we can start building the muscle mass, because we're losing it as we age.
Yeah.
This, you know, so that's been a really, like, you know, this is the second time I'm having this conversation about bone density, but it's so important.
It is.
Because you're right. Like, we didn't, you know, this was not talked about. Like, when I went to Jazzercise with my mom in her 40s, you know, there was no discussing the menopause. There was no discussing the bone density. I mean, there was no hand-me-down information even from her. And I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying it was not done.
Yeah.
It was not discussed. So, you know, in retrospect, I'm like, oh, that must have been menopause related / whatever, right? That she was addressing in some form or fashion, but there was no conversation about it. Not that she owed one to me, but still, it was still very much like, we don't talk about it, you know.
Well, and look at now where menopause is, I'd say within the last year, really blossomed.
Yeah, it's having a moment.
Yeah, it's in the spotlight right now, because now they're finally realizing, hey, there's more to this. You know, but then I always caution people too, you know, you've got to do the research and absorb as much as you can, and then make your own informed decision, or get a professional and get their decision. And I always say at that point, you know, get 2 or 3, because people in the medical field are practicing. Me being a holistic practitioner, I always say, I don't know everything. I know a lot, but you need to always get other opinions based on what you're dealing with, because there's not always just one answer.
Right.
Right.
Well, and just talking to people I know who are in menopause, gone through menopause, on the verge of menopause, I mean, everybody's different. Like I have one friend who had no symptoms. I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah.
I mean,
our body is so unique.
Right.
And that's the other thing. I've always been, in my line of work, I've always been the type of person where, you know, everybody wants a quick fix. I'm like, there is no such thing. I said, and the other thing is, our bodies are so stinking unique. And, you know, I've had a lot of people through the years be like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, what I do is what I do for my body. I can tell you what I do, but I can't guarantee that it's going to help your body.
So how have you, look, what was it like? What was your process for discovering, like, getting in touch with what works for your body? Like, what was that? Or like, how did you do that?
Trial and error. It's really trial and error. I'm a huge fan of, as much as it's not fun, you have to journal. If you're going to try to see what's going on, you have to journal. Journal exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and you have to have the data. You have to build the data to see, you know, what you started with, where you're going, and then be able to look back and analyze it. You have to be honest with yourself and dedicate journaling of at least 2 weeks of what you're doing day in and day out.
Oh, interesting.
Because you need to know. I mean, sometimes people say do at least 3 days. That's fine, but you have to accumulate the data. The more data you have, the better analysis of the results you're going to get. And then go from there and see, you know, also how you feel. You know, like I've always, I think I did it with you. Maybe I didn't. It was a 3-day energy experiment. And it's eating one way for day 1, another way for day 2, and another way for day 3, but also journaling how you feel.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think we did that.
No, well, we'll have to do it.
We'll do it. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, especially after you eat, because that is your key to finding out the food that you ate, is it serving you or is it hurting you? if you eat something and within 2 hours you're like ready to crawl up into a ball and take a nap, clearly those are not the foods you should be eating,
Right.
particularly at that time.
Oh, interesting. Because maybe if you eat it earlier in the day, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But not at that time of
Right.
day.
So, for example, I'm a huge meat eater. I love my meat. I don't eat it like I used to, but like I found that I cannot do like a big old greasy, like a healthy, but big old greasy hamburger at lunch. I will want to take a nap within 2 hours.
Interesting.
But you give me that hamburger at night, I'm fine. You give me bacon and eggs in the morning, I'm fine, right? Even though I don't do that like I used to. But there's certain things that I've found, and I'm a huge vegetable person.
Right.
So I tend to have more of my vegetables at lunch, and I'll have my protein in there, but I do more plant protein than I do animal, but I will do animal. But I can't like sit and eat a whole chicken sandwich. That will make me want to take a nap.
Oh, that's
I can
so
only have
interesting.
small amounts of animal for lunch.
Interesting. See, I drink my greens.
And that's fine. That's fine.
I can't eat them. I
Yeah.
have a thing about.
Yep. Texture is big for people.
Yeah, it's a texture thing. It's a bunch of different things, but it's not like I'll never eat it, but if it's not my go-to. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to drink them.
Yep. Yep.
So I have
It's
to, I
however
blend them.
It's however you can get it in, you know? But yeah, finding out what your body is wanting is huge.
Every once in a while, like I'll keep a log. I have an app for this, but I'll keep a log of what I'm eating because I'll be like, I think I'm off. Like I think I'm not. It's not, and it's not about calorie counting for me or like shaming myself or getting weird about food because I have a backstory with food, so like I don't want to. Eating disorders and stuff, so I don't really want to get too crazy with myself about like, making food the enemy or a problem.
Right.
But it's for me mentally, it's more of I'm being more mindful or
Yeah.
paying attention to, because I'll notice like I'll get not lazy, but like not paying attention. I'll just eat random things in combinations that make no sense or whatever, and then feel like crap. It's more that I even feel like crap, even less than like whether or not I gain weight. It's just I feel like crap.
Right.
And so whenever that starts to happen, I'm like, I'm going to keep my log. I'm doing something.
Right.
And then I'll notice like, oh yeah, like those things are adding up. Like
Yep.
even that protein bar or even that granola bar and, all the things that I think are like good for me. Like, yeah, also, but when I add them all up in one day
Yeah.
and I'm not drinking enough water and I'm
Water's
not moving, like it just all starts to add up in a whole other kind of way. Yeah.
It does. I mean, calories are calories, but I mean, talking numbers, but it's also, are you eating healthy calories? Are you eating empty calories?
Right.
Are you eating foods that are high in nutritional value, or are you eating a lot of calories that's just filled with crap? And then the other thing is, if you're on a 2,500 calorie diet, what are you doing to offset that 2,500 in movement? I just had this conversation the other day with somebody, and they're like, well, I get home and I'm so tired. I don't want to do anything. And I said, well, you need to get more movement in. And they're like, well, I do X amount of steps a day. And I said, but your body is familiar and trained. That's what you do day in and day out at your job. You've got to, if you want to change anything, if you want to disrupt the system, you have to change that. And I said, so that means when you get home, go for a walk around the block or walk around your property. You got to do something. You've got to burn more calories if you want to change anything. You either have to reduce your calories or you have to up your output of burning the calories,
Right.
which is movement.
Right.
Like I said earlier, our body is so unique. But here's what people take for granted. We only get one. You need to take care of it. And I think now most people, especially after COVID, it's kind of the I don't care phase. They just, in their mind, I think their process is, well, I'll just take care of it later. And what I would say to that individual is later might not come.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, it was that wake up call for me was in 2019 when I went to my doctor and he was like, well, Like I was living entirely in my head as a safety mechanism, as a survival mechanism, I would say, that I really, like, I was like, I didn't even drop into I was so disconnected from my body. I didn't drop into it. So I kind of could care less. That was the truth. I could care less what was happening to me. And that year, something dislodged where suddenly I was like, wait a second, I'm a little bit more connected, or I want to be connected for the first time in decades.
Yeah.
It seemed like. And then it was a combination of that and my doctor being like, dude, seriously, I don't see him anymore, but at the time my doctor was a functional medicine guy and did lots of different tests and very holistic approach. And I was like, he was like, dude, no, seriously, like, you have heart disease in your family, and you got to address these things. And I was like, oh,
it typically comes down to three choices. People either start to realize, hey, something's off, I don't feel good, or they go to the doctor and the doctor's like, yeah, dude, you need to do something, or something catastrophic happens. I mean, those are really the only three things.
I know, yeah.
And I always tell people you need to be preventative. You need to think about the choices that you're making before before it's too late, because whether you're healthy or not, tomorrow's not promised.
Right. That's very true. You're right about that.
So I've chosen through my, my life and all of its experiences that I choose to 80 to 90% of the time do the right thing for my body. And then give myself that 10 to 20% where it's like, okay, I can have one, but just one. This thing called life is not easy.
No.
And it comes with so many trials and tribulations, and it's a matter of where we are in our life and how we want to work at it. And the choice that we're given as to, do you want to do the work to get better?
Right.
Some people choose not.
Well, it's a tough choice. I mean, I didn't make it for a long time.
And, we're all on our own journey.
Like I made it kind of, sort of, and then backed off of it again. Like that, like as I call it, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Like I would want to do the things and then be like, okay, that's too much good. I'm going to back off of that now. Like I was afraid.
Yeah.
I realized in retrospect, I was afraid of the good.
Yeah.
So I would back off of it. And afraid of having the confidence and to just say the thing. Like, I mean, I've gotten much better at that, and I do that more often now than not.
Right.
But yeah, I was always like, yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. It can be a lot of hard work, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is we all have to develop that confidence at whatever level, the person chooses, and giving ourselves the self-love. And I think that if, we put 100 people in a room, a good 90 of them are going to all have backstories. And those backstories are what have molded us and what have brought us to where we are today. And if we don't take the time to look at what has happened and how we reacted and what we can own and what we didn't have a choice in, and we can choose it. We can choose to make life different for us and get us the results that we're looking for. But again, it's all about choices and how bad does somebody want it.
Right. So what's next for you, Linda? Because you got the Reiki thing. That's a new addition, the Reiki Master.
I became a Reiki Master during COVID.
Oh, I didn't. That's right.
Yeah.
Didn't put that together.
I had an acquaintance who was like, hey, I'm going to do this. And that's another bizarre story, because when I was in my 20s, I always had different women come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, you have such a strong energy about you. I can see your aura. And I was like, oh, foo-foo this, But I didn't understand, one, what they were talking about. And two, what didn't come to be reality to me until after I became a Reiki Master was I would literally walk into a store, a bar, anywhere. And people would literally stop what they're doing and turn around and look.
Wow.
And I used to get so pissed.
Like, what are you doing?
I would be like, what is your problem? What are you looking at? Not understanding that my presence got people's vibrations, interrupted, where they had to be like, what's going on? I feel something. What is that? And so, yeah, for a good part of my life, I was angry over that because I didn't understand it. So fast forward to COVID, she's like, hey, you want to do this with me? And I was like, oh, I'll just do it to support you, And then before you know it, at the end, I'm, 4 sessions in or 4, it's level 1, level 2, level 3, and then master. And I was a master, and I was like, oh my gosh. So when I was talking to the master who gave me my certification, I said, I got to ask you this. I said, is this why? And she goes, oh yeah. She's like, too bad you didn't learn that sooner. She's like, so now when I walk into a place and I see people, stop and turn, I'm like, hey, everybody, now I know how to have fun with it because I know that they can sense me. And so now, it's made me be more of an extrovert where now
interesting.
Yeah. Now I step out and I'd be like, hey, everybody, what's going on? To people that I don't even know.
Wow.
When you do something like that, it definitely brings you out of your comfort zone, and it does remold you into, an individual who's not as scared to say hello.
It's like, oh, I can actually talk to people I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's up for you? What are you looking at doing next? Since you're clearly an evolving person at all times.
I am evolving. We have a motorcycle business. We do lots of stuff with that. That's always evolving. And so that has been evolving into me taking on more responsibility and stuff in that line. So for me right now, I am just continuing with the lovely clients that I have, using all of my skills that I need in that capacity, and only looking to really bring on people that are just dead serious and wanting to work on themselves. Because I've learned in all the years of doing this that it can be very energy draining to try to get the results that people tell you that they want, but they don't want to show up and do it.
So that sounds like another element of your own self-care. Like just knowing, like, I can work with this kind of person, but not that kind of person.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not their person. Also knowing, like, how to still take care of you.
Yeah.
Because you're giving out so much to someone else.
Yeah. You definitely have to fill your cup back up. And
So how do you fill your cup back up?
a lot of just self-care time. I'm one that loves to just go off, be outside, just sit, meditate, just be still. That's the best way I find that I can recharge myself.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
What a great chat.
Yeah. This is fun.
Yeah, and thank you also for all the love and light you've brought into my universe over the last 6 years,
You are
almost.
welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that we started doing the dancing thing
Oh, yeah.
in mid-session. We'll just break out and start dancing, especially to that song Maniac.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, music is my life. There's a many of things I've always wanted to do, and one of them was to sing or to play an instrument. And I don't foresee that in the near future. But yeah, so when music is on, I'm dancing if I can. I'm definitely singing. That's just one of my things. I mean, I've heard music from when I was little. We always had music in the house between polka and country.
Right.
I can sing you some polka if you want to hear it. But also knowing how to dance. I grew up dancing polka with my dad and my uncles and my cousins, and
Oh my God, I love that.
yeah, just so
Dancing
many.
polka.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely one that at weddings I'm out there busting a move. Music just makes me move. It just fills my heart, fills my soul.
Well, on that note, thank you again.
You are so welcome.
All right, and we'll be working out on Saturday.
We will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Stories That Sparkle. I've put a link to all things Linda into the show notes, so feel free to reach out to her and talk about personal training, Reiki sessions, motorcycles and Harleys, all the things. And before you go, please rate, review, subscribe, follow, pass it on, share the link to the podcast. I would super greatly, big time appreciate it. Get the word out. And also, please come hang out over on Substack, hellarator.substack.com. And most importantly, if you have a story you would like me to include or you would like to tell or share with me, please, please, please drop me a line, because together we bring light into dark places.